The two most important needs of the brain are a sense of security and a sense of autonomy. Security is safety. We learned that there is a part of the brain represented by the glowworm that is always looking out for threats, both physical and social. If we do not feel safe, our brain is going to try to protect us by going into fight, flight, or freeze. Autonomy is the ability to make our own choices and feel like we are important. We learned that we get neurochemicals that feel good when we feel successful. We also learned about the ant tools and merit badge that represented a sense of pride, gratitude, compassion, and purpose. Our brains are wired to want to work and be productive. Security and autonomy are basic needs for everyone, and they really make sense when you think about the brain science you have learned. You are just getting to a point in your brain development when security and autonomy are especially important: adolescence. Think about a caterpillar when it is a chrysalis. The caterpillar turns into a chrysalis so that it can change into a butterfly. Caterpillars surround themselves in a cocoon to protect them while they turn into butterflies. That transition is filled with struggle. While in the chrysalis, the butterfly pushes against the walls to fill its wings with necessary fluids. The struggle of breaking out of the chrysalis builds the strength it needs to fly. Did you know that if you help a butterfly out when it is struggling out of the chrysalis, it will die? It won't get the chance to strengthen its wings, so it won't have the strength to fly. In many ways, adolescence is similar. As you move from childhood to adulthood, it is important to feel safe and have trusting relationships that will be there to help protect you. But it is also important to build your wings and explore ways to become more independent. That takes struggle and challenge. It is not easy, and it often involves some struggle with the relationships in our lives. We may find ourselves pushing our family away and not really understanding why. We might find ourselves doing things that might be silly or even dangerous, especially with our friends. It is especially important to have safe boundaries and relationships during adolescence. These relationships are similar to the cocoon because they help keep us safe. Now that we know what humans need, we can think about how that affects our relationships. For that information, we look at 4 different leadership styles. These are 4 leadership styles that have been studied a lot. Really, these leadership styles just help us to understand how we interact with other people. We all have times when we might be using each of the leadership styles. The first leadership style is authoritarian leadership. Authoritarian leaders want to be in control. They do not really care if they are liked as long as people do what they say and they get their way. Authoritarian leaders provide strict rules and give harsh punishments if those rules are not followed. If we are acting in an authoritarian way, we want to control what other people do. The second leadership style is permissive leadership. Permissive leaders want people to like them. Being well-liked is extremely important to them. Permissive leaders are afraid to make any demands because they worry that people will get mad at them. If we are acting in a permissive way, we may be afraid to stick up for our own needs, and we are probably not communicating what we need. The third leadership style is uninvolved leadership. Uninvolved leaders don't really care about the relationships. Typically, they are not really interested in relationships at all. If we are acting in an uninvolved way, we might be ignoring other people. The last leadership style is authoritative leadership. Authoritative leaders tend to be the best. They set high expectations but provide the support people need to reach those expectations. Authoritative leaders are predictable and safe. Authoritative leaders tend to be good listeners and make people feel heard and cared for. If we are acting in an authoritative way, we are communicating our own needs and we are helping others to feel safe. An authoritative leadership style supports a sense of security and autonomy in relationships, which works best for the brain. Humans like high expectations with the support necessary to meet those expectations. They also like strong, warm relationships.